Okay, so we're live. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Elsa Arauz. I'm the founder and president of KARIF Beauty, a subscription service for women of color. So today we're so excited to begin this edition of our KARIF Expert Series. And this is a series of live sessions where we invite hair and beauty experts to come and chime in and give us their exclusive beauty and hair hacks. So today's expert series focuses on relaxed hair. If you have relaxed hair, you should know that our hair is very prone to damage from heat, from lack of moisture, from lack of protein. So today we've invited our three prominent relaxed hair bloggers to give us unfiltered advice on relaxed hair. So please help me welcome Jay West of RelaxedTherapy.com. We also have Valerie Bremang, founder of Hairlicious Inc. And we also have Tiki Byrd of Grow. So without any further ado, I want to say hi to you guys for coming in and joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. And let's get started. So our very first question will be for all three of you guys. You can all answer whenever you are ready. So the first question is, what prompted you to become so passionate about relaxed hair? What issues were you seeing in the community that you felt that you needed to address by starting a blog?
Oh, I hear something in the background.
I actually am getting some feedback in the background, so I do apologize for not jumping right on in. So can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, I can't. I'm hearing an echo. Sorry.
Really? Okay.
Guys, I'm thinking that maybe while one person is talking, we need to mute. Otherwise, we might continue to have that feedback issue.
Okay. Okay. So did everybody hear what I just said?
Yes.
Okay. So does anybody want to answer the question? We can start muting soon.
Well, I'll go first. I didn't necessarily start my blog to, and this is going to sound bad, but I didn't start. I really started my blog as an online hair journal to keep track of what I was doing with my hair, because I like to change products and also change up techniques. So I really started to track what I was doing and what was working for me, and it just kind of grew from there.
Yeah, I started my hair blog, hairliciousync.com, simply just to track my hair growth. I was really intrigued with growing my hair and, you know, making sure it's nice and healthy. For years, I suffered with damaged, relaxed hair, and I figured, you know, doing it online was the easiest way to, you know, track my pictures, do product reviews, that kind of thing, to see what works best. And I also started online, like being subscribed to certain forums, for example, Black Hair Media, that kind of thing. So just having everything online was the easiest for me.
Okay.
I decided to start a blog simply because I had gone through a lot with my husband's health. And I needed a way to start my hair journey, and I did that, and I was successful with that. So I figured, why not take my show on the road and create a blog? So I went in specifically with not necessarily documenting my hair journey for me, but I wanted to share what I had been through and how I was able to be successful at maintaining my hair throughout all of the stressful times and then beyond. So that's kind of why I started mine, and mine was specifically to share my journey with others.
Can you guys hear me?
No, it was muted. Sorry.
Okay. So moving on to the next question. What is your current hair regimen looking like? What are your classic staples? And what things are you changing? And what things are you discovering day by day with your hair?
Okay. My current regimen is very simple. It's been this way for about the past 4 years. I haven't changed anything. So I would typically wash my hair twice a week, and I always do a protein treatment at least one out of those 2 wash days. So I would pre-poo with protein, typically shampoo, deep condition, air dry. Sorry, put in my leave-ins, air dry, and then my next wash day is usually like a moisture-based type session. So that's typically how my regimen is. It's been working for me. I moisturize twice a day, maybe. Usually it's once a day, and protective style in between. Keep it very simple, easy. It's pretty rote right now, so I'm not going to change it. Yeah. Right now I'm trying to work on just keeping blunt ends. That's one of my main obsessions. Just making sure my ends are healthy, hydrated, babying them as usual, and keeping them protected. So that's typically my main focus.
Anybody else want to chime in on their current hair regimen?
Well, my regimen right now is pretty simple. I am opting for the first time ever to utilize wigs through the winter. So what I've been doing right now is keeping my hair braided throughout the week. I cannot do cornrows for anything, so I'm just kind of doing individual braids, and I kind of braided my hair and pin it down. And I spritz my hair twice daily just to keep it nice and moisturized, because I don't want the wig caps that I'm using to dry my hair out. I'm washing my hair once a week and keeping it simple. I am using a little more protein these days because I am almost 6 months post-relaxer. I am usually protein phobic on the regular, but I am learning that I need to use a little more protein. So I'm doing protein treatments, maybe, well, let me say light to medium protein treatments, so like a reconstructor, once every about 2 weeks or so. But so that's my routine right now. And then when I'm not in wigs, it's not really too much different, except that I don't keep my hair braided. I moisturize once or twice daily. The sun here where I'm located at is just harsh on my hair and dries my hair out a lot. So I like to keep my hair nice and moisturized. And even then, I still wash once weekly and utilize protein as needed. So yeah, that's kind of my regimen right now.
Okay. How about you, Tiki?
My regimen is simple, but it's kind of complicated because I do wash once a week, but I also co-wash during the week with something moisturizing. And I will do that between 1 to 6 times during the week. It depends on what I have going on, if I'm working out or what have you. So if I'm working out, it's me co-washing at least 3 times a week. I do moisturize. I have a moisturizing mix that I actually made myself that I normally moisturize my hair with. And I am notorious for wearing my hair in 2 braids, so I am constantly in protective styles. And well, Jay knows I have a wig collection that I have been attacked by. So it's becoming the fall, and I wear wigs year round, but now that it's getting a little cooler here, I tend to wear wigs more often. Right now I have an old Bantu knot set that's falling out right about now, and I'm low porosity, so I really don't use protein too much. I at most maybe once, maybe twice a month, if that. I use heat. You already know I use heat, but I have a special technique to do that. And I'm the oddball that I actually take supplements as part of my regimen for my hair.
What kind of supplements would you recommend?
Can I say something? I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that on wash day, everything is moisturizing. I only use protein, like a protein treatment, to get my protein in. So I rarely ever use any other protein products. And Tiki brought up a good point about supplements. I take vitamins, but like on the real, I just don't think they do anything for my hair growth. I just take them for health purposes. I know people have asked, hey, what about your vitamin regimen? Like, I just don't think it really helps my growth at all. I've been taking vitamins for a very long time, so if it has helped, I just don't know that it has.
Okay.
I can add to that as well, sorry. In terms of protein. Oh, sorry. Well, in terms of protein, I tend to use it in the wash day phase, like sorry, in the conditioning phase. So that way my hair is not dry and brittle. But as the other ladies mentioned, you know, I try to keep protein to a minimum in terms of leave-in products because my hair would just wreak havoc at that point. But yeah, typically moisturizing products, for example, you know, my moisturizer, my leave-in, those are the things that are moisturizing. But like the protein reconstructors and stuff, I use that strictly just for deep conditioning.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Val. So the next question is basically about porosity and moisture. When you're relaxed, your hair is typically dry because of all the chemicals that are already in your hair. How do you strike a balance with moisture and your porosity in terms of like how porous your hair is, just to make sure that you're not tipping that balance and causing some other damage to your hair?
Well, I'll start. This year has been very eye-opening for me. If you followed me long enough, you know that I was like anti-protein and only used it once in a lifetime, honestly. I had a hair analysis done, and I was told you need to use more protein. You are not low porosity. I disagreed because I think I am low porosity. But, I mean, I paid all the money to get a hair analysis done, so I utilized the regimen that was told to me that I needed to use for medium, well, not medium, but normal to high porosity. And honestly, that has helped me strike a balance by incorporating more protein. I feel that my hair maintains moisture far better now that I'm using more protein. Back when I was not using more protein, it did not retain moisture, and I thought I was low porosity. So striking that balance for me has definitely been finding the right protein to use for my hair and the right frequency.
Okay. How about you, Valerie and Tiki? Do you have a take on that?
Well, where porosity is concerned, and truth those don't. For those who don't know, porosity is basically your hair's ability to absorb water. So with my hair, I am high porosity. Well, then again, as Jay mentioned, this year I kind of got a revelation as well. I feel as though, yes, my hair sometimes behaves as it's high porosity, but then a few things show me that it's actually low. So it's a little bit in between. I guess I'm normal, but I treat my hair as though I'm high porosity. My hair gets extremely dry, especially on the ends, and I typically just make sure my hair stays moisturized. The protein treatments definitely help to fill any cracks along the hair fibers, so that helps, and that also helps to retain moisture. So it is tricky, and typically with high porosity hair, you want to, make sure the cuticles are laying flat. Typically use, acidic conditioners, usually in the 4.5 to 5.5 range. And you can also use, apple cider vinegar rinses, aloe vera mixed with water, spritz your hair, and you should be able to retain moisture, and your hair will feel a lot smoother. Because typically with high porosity, your hair is kind of on the rough, dry side.
I am low porosity, so I tend to favor bagging with part of my moisturizing. That definitely helps me hold in moisture. I also had to learn that there are certain products. A lot of people favor water-based products. Well, you have to have that for your moisture, but I have to actually have a heavier butter to seal everything in to just keep everything balanced for me. And again, I rarely ever use protein, so that definitely helps for me, because if I use protein too much, that's going to cause a whole nother issue for me.
Okay, thanks a lot, you guys. Anything else you wanted to add?
I think finding your balance, you must first know your porosity. If you don't know your porosity, you will not find that balance. And so I think all my rambling is to say what I was mentioning earlier. I think I was treating my hair for the not the most accurate type of porosity, because like Val mentioned, one day my hair is high, the next day it acts as though it's low. So finding your porosity, knowing your porosity is the key to being able to find that balance.
Okay, and do you need to do a hair analysis to do this, or is there a easier way to do it in the comfort of your home?
There's an easier way to do it. I don't know if anybody was about to jump in. I think the easiest way, there are 3 different methods to check your porosity on your own, but I think the easiest way is to do the water test. And that's just simply taking a strand of clean hair and placing it inside of a cup of water, and then from there you will be able to determine if your hair stays on the water, then more than likely you're low porosity. If it seems, you can measure from there.
As Tiki mentioned, yeah, if your hair does sink, typically, you know, you are high porosity, so your hair is absorbing all of that water. And another thing with high porosity, you know, your hair is able to absorb moisture, and it can easily lose moisture. So you have to be careful in keeping up your moisture treatments as well as your protein treatments as well. So consistency is key.
For me, it was my hair would sink in the cup. So I just thought I was low porosity, but treating my hair as though I was normal actually turned out to be better. So although the test is a good baseline, it'll give you a start point anyway, but you may have to tweak your regimen if your hair is not responding to the porosity level that you're trying to treat it for.
Okay. And does that all depend? Oh, sorry. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that leads me to my next question. So does that all tie into how often you moisturize and seal as well?
Well, typically, I just feel like you should just gauge your hair. You have to, on your hair journey or with your hair period, you need to kind of learn, you know, your hair and what it needs, what it wants. I typically just feel my hair. If it feels dry, I moisturize it. If it feels like it's retaining moisture, I leave it alone. So you kind of have to understand, well, with time you will be able to know what your hair needs and what it wants, and from there you'll be able to see length retention.
I agree. Just kind of gauge it by what your hair is feeling like and go from there. I think I can get by with less moisturizing in the winter, as oddly as that may seem. I just believe, you know, living in a very hot state, the hotter times of year is harsher on my hair than the cooler for whatever reason. And that may be because a lot of times in the winter, if normally I wear beanies until my destination and then take them off. So I guess my hair is being protected a lot more in the winter, whereas in the summer I'm just out and about without any kind of head covering. So I think in the summer is when I definitely need to moisturize more.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't have a specific time, Jay. I'm just dry all year round. But then again, I also have, in addition to my hair being dry, I have skin issues. So I'm just a dry person. So.
Okay. So that leads me to my next question. What are the ingredients you must stay away from?
Aloe. I don't know why, but aloe and I don't get along. And
really?
Nope. And hydrolyzed wheat protein, those two, they're not great for me. So I'm telling you, that's low porosity all day, every day. But whatever.
Oh, outside for me. I can't do wheat protein for a whole different issue. I'm wheat sensitive, so even if I wasn't low porosity, I still can't do it. But and people are gonna be like, what? I love my hair. You know, alone.
Tiki, we lost you for a minute there. Can you repeat that?
I'm sorry?
We lost you for a minute, or at least my feed did. Can you repeat what you just said?
Oh, I was saying that I can't use any type of wheat products anyway because I'm gluten sensitive. So if I put a wheat-based product in my hair, my scalp is going to feel like someone set it on fire, but that's a whole nother issue. But what I was saying was I can't use coconut oil. I can use it as long as it's mixed with other things, but if, you know, some people can use coconut oil when they're doing like a styling or something like that. I can't. My hair just will not tolerate coconut oil on its own.
Amla sets my scalp on fire. I cannot put that on my hair, like the amla oil. Oh my gosh, it's just, I can't do it.
And you know, those are my faves. You know, I'm the expert.
Tiki, what particularly happens to your hair when you add coconut oil to it?
My hair, it feels kind of like when you have too much protein in your hair. It gets really dry, really stiff, really hard, and then it just does not. And on the contrast of that, it gets limp, so it just won't do anything from there. So, like I said, where you have someone that can use coconut oil, say, to do a braid out as a base, and then they take it down, and they have these beautiful waves. My hair just like it won't do anything.
Did you just do the Wendy Williams?
How you doing?
You know what, Tiki? I actually had the same issue when I started using coconut oil for the first time. I found my hair was extremely dry and very stiff, kind of crispy. So from what I found with my hair, the less I use, the better. So I typically use like a finger amount, like small amount, and I just put it all over my hair, and it typically really makes it smooth and strong and fortified. But too much of the coconut oil I can't do either. But I love it.
Especially use it on
and I probably should have said that because I've experimented with using different amounts.
Yeah.
My hair absolutely it will not behave properly.
Oh. So Elsa, your question, did you mean what are some products that we should avoid, period, or what doesn't work with us in particular?
Yeah, I mean like ingredients, certain ingredients, because we all know alcohol is really bad for our hair. So I was just kind of wondering, what other ingredients don't work at all.
Oh, look,
okay.
I understood your question. Oops.
I know, because I was thinking, like, do you mean for us or do you mean in general? So I typically tell my ladies, you know what, stay away from the mineral oil, petrolatum, petroleum. Those are obviously the 3 bad ingredients that you want to stay away from, especially in your scalp. That can really clog your scalp and cause, just inhibit growth. So stay away from those 3. Lanolin, I don't know. It depends on your hair. Like some people can get away with sealing their hair with grease and they've been able to retain a lot of length, but it just depends. But typically those 3 ingredients. I'd also say in terms of shampoos, try to stay away from sulfate if your hair gets really dry or if you have dry scalp.
Don't work at all.
Okay. The main ones to stay away from.
I think Jay and I both misunderstood the question. I thought you meant for us personally. The funny thing is, I guess I'm the oddball all the way around because a lot of people will tell you to stay away from. I'm sorry.
Stop saying that. You're not odd.
But you know me because like I said, I do all the things that you're not supposed to do, and it works for me. And with that said, I know you're asking for products to stay away from, but I'm the one. I guess I'm one of the few people who my hair actually behaves properly for silicone. So a lot of people will say stay away from silicone.
Silicone.
Yes, girl, it behaves.
It helps. It really helps. It depends on your hair.
But I was going to say, it depends on your hair, and also if you're making sure that you stand on clarifying and silicone will not. The question I thought you meant for us personally.
Hey Elsa, I'm getting some feedback on your end. Whenever you mute, I don't hear it. So is your YouTube string playing in the background?
I'm saying that you're not on, but you know me.
Can you hear me?
Okay, there's a serious lag.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I just hear some feedback. But whenever you press mute, I don't hear it. So I was just thinking maybe it was the YouTube part playing in the background.
Maybe so. Let me see. That might be it.
Okay.
That is it.
Okay. So as for me, you know what? I'm kind of like, if it works on your hair, then you go for it. I mean, just because it's a struggle finding what works. And if you think it's working for you, although it's on the do not list, then that's what you should do. Now, I will say, okay, so I hate to keep going back to this hair analysis, but it has changed my life because I was not using sulfates, and now that I am actually cleaning my hair a little more frequently with the sulfate shampoo, I mean, baby girl is retaining moisture. So, if you use sulfates, then you need to use sulfates. So, hey, it's all good. So do what works for your hair.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm another one of those that thrives with sulfates too. So Jay, I definitely understand what you're saying on that. And I do definitely tell people that you really have to experiment and see what works for you, because there are some people who their hair can thrive with a certain product, a certain green product that had one of the top ingredients is mineral oil, whereas other people, their hair will not respond properly with that. So you really just have to play around and see if there is something on that do not use list that your hair will function properly with, and your hair will still thrive. Because I mean, like I said, I use all the no-nos except for mineral oil. I don't mess with that or anything with petroleum in it, and then I was still able to grow my hair to the length that I grew it to. So you definitely have to see what works for you.
Okay.
It's one of those mileage may vary things. What works for one may not work for you, and vice versa.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, and I'm sure we all have a story about something similar, because when I first started my hair journey, I was on a hair forum begging for advice, and you know, the ladies would say use this and use that, and you know, I went off and purchased this product and that product without getting the same result. And ultimately, I just had to like calm down and swim in my own lane and figure out what works for my hair, because no two heads are alike. I know that a lot of people say we're hair twins. Well, you know, I don't know if I buy into that theory. Maybe, but you really have to tweak it to be what's beneficial for you and your hair.
Okay.
Exactly, and then it also boils down to the reason why some products work for some and not others. It could also be based on your porosity level, your hair type, those sort of things you do have to take into consideration. So I agree with the ladies. It is about trial and error. Experimentation is key. So don't give up if you feel as though, you know, nothing's working. Just keep going. I know it can kind of break the bank, but just do your research and you should be okay.
Okay.
And we need to talk about hard water before we end this segment too, because I think a lot of people are not aware of the effects of hard water. And
I agree with you, Jay.
You guys can talk about that now before we go into our next question?
Sure. I think everyone needs to first take a look at what kind of water quality they're working with, because I know for me that has been my issue. I went to Lowe's. Oops, sorry, I name dropped. But anyway, I went to Lowe's and I purchased a water filter, and I put a water filter on my shower head, and oh my gosh, that has been a turning point. So a lot of my failed efforts beforehand was because of having hard water. And it's so, and in my bathroom, there's no sign of hard water. You know, like if you visit some places, you can see like the buildup of hard water. So the hard water that I have was kind of silent, but it definitely was there. So, and I also make sure I clarify and chelate a little more often, so that I get rid of any kind of product and or hard water buildup that may be still passing through my filter that's not totally filtered out.
Okay.
I have to agree with her on that. I have I hunted down the specific shower head because it does have the filter and everything in it, and I absolutely love it. It has definitely made a world of difference in my hair, as far as definitely was retaining everything, because I was starting to have some mineral buildup. And this poor little one shower head that I have has been all around the country with me. It was the best investment. I literally, everywhere I go, this shower head goes, and I'm like, okay, let me attach my shower head, because I absolutely cannot live without it. And luckily, my filters are easy to find. I can go to my local home improvement store, not going to say names, and definitely pick those up. That has definitely helped.
Okay.
So in case those who don't know, hard water can really make your hair dry. Hard water has a mixture of like mineral deposits and such that can deposit on your hair and can cause like a buildup, like a coating over your hair. So certain products may not work, obviously. So as the ladies mentioned, a shower filter is like #1 key thing to actually, you know, invest in. I invested in that years ago, and my hair has transformed. I love it. I make sure I have a water softener, in my house if I do happen to move or whatnot. So that is key. And even if you don't per se can purchase a shower filter, you can also chelate. So get a chelating shampoo that will help remove any mineral deposits on your hair, and it will help with product absorption and penetration.
Okay. Thanks a lot for that, Valerie. So my next question is, what is your ideal stretching time? How long before, how long do you take to add a relaxer?
I'm sorry.
I'll start. I just recently relaxed. I stretched to about maximum 14 weeks post relaxer. I typically like to keep it in the 10 to 12 week range because my hair doesn't go too haywire at that point. But that's usually when I relax. I love it. Like it's easy for me to just go to 14 weeks and to go beyond. For some reason, my hair just doesn't like it. I notice a lot of demarcation breakage, and for those who don't know, the line of demarcation is where the relaxed hair and the new growth meet. Sorry. So it's important to kind of know your breaking point. Don't just stretch because everyone else is doing it. Listen to your hair, gauge it, and see how your hair is behaving.
Okay.
Well, I think Val just said part of what I was going to say as far as stretching, because you really have to know your hair and know how long you can stretch. Most people can stretch between 10 to 12 weeks. That's what I normally try to go with. However, the reason why I chuckled is because right now I am at week 29. I don't know how I got here, but somehow I'm at week 29.
Oh, wow.
It was definitely my intention, but I've been able to continue with my stretch because I do not have any breakage at my line of demarcation. I'm able to stretch without doing harm to my hair, and that's really the key. Like Val said, you really have to know what the limit is for your particular hair. And a lot of people think, well, if I stretch to 20 weeks, then that's doing good for my hair. When a lot of times, if you don't know how to care for your hair, or your hair just can't take that stress, you're doing more harm than good by stretching out longer times.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, for me, normally it would be 10 to 12 weeks because my hair would start to freak out and break. But I had a moment of I need to do better because my hair analysis suggested that my hair was starting to grow in a little thinner, and it was likely due to over-processing. And then along the way, my sister is going to get me for this, but she was diagnosed with alopecia. And I've not got around to posting this just yet on my blog about the why behind my wigs, but it's kind of like in support of her. And I'm just like, why go and relax if my hair is not breaking? And I've been able to do really well with keeping it braided. Now, if it wasn't braided underneath, I do believe I would have caved and got a relaxer long ago. But my norm is 10 to 12 weeks. But what I would tell ladies is listen to your hair. If you're getting a lot of line of demarcation breakage, then definitely go and relax. But a follower actually said something, and they said it best. You really need to stretch based on however much new growth you get. So if it's where you get an inch in 15 weeks versus 10 weeks, then go with that as your guide versus just picking a week necessarily. So I think based on your growth and your ability to maintain your hair, that should be your determination of how long you stretch.
Okay. Anybody else wanted to add to something else? I think Tiki wanted to add something else.
No, I mean
No?
that's pretty much it. Because
Okay.
we have a lot of ladies that have that same issue. Like I think Jay and Val, all of us started out on hair boards where it was like you absolutely have to stretch this amount of time, where some people just can't do that. Then you have other people that say at 10, 12 weeks they don't have that much new growth, so there's really no point to them stretching. So yeah, she's absolutely right. You do have to listen to your hair and see where your head is and look at how so now.
You know what used to frustrate me so much when I first started on my hair journey, and I know we're kind of going off on an angle and not answering all the questions, and sorry for that, but everyone would be like, do what works for you, or listen to your hair. That would frustrate me so badly because I'm like, I'm asking you a question, and you're not really answering my question.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth of the matter is we can give you, or the person talking to me, or whatever, everyone can give their own opinion. But if it really doesn't work for your hair, then it really doesn't make much sense.
Okay. And do you guys...
Sorry, Elsa. I'd like to also add that a common mistake that we make is, relaxing a little too soon as well, that 6 to 8 week mark. And I feel that, that is kind of what contributes to the overlapping, over-processing. So if you do find that you are in that category of relaxing too soon, 4 to 6 weeks or 8 weeks, try to just increase it week by week and just gauge your hair. So if you normally stretch to about, what, 6 weeks, you know, go for 7, see how your hair is. If you're doing great, go for 8 and continue. So that's basically how I started. I used to always relax maybe every 7 to 8 weeks or so, and then with time I just stretched it week by week. Just play it by ear and see how your hair feels.
Okay. And do you guys prefer to do your relaxers professionally or at home?
I used to relax in the salon only. I was one of those girls where I found relaxing or doing hair at home just weird. I always went to the hairdresser, the hair salon, every 2 weeks or so. So at first, when I started my journey, I didn't trust myself to actually, you know, take on the relaxer at home. But as I reached maybe 3 years into my hair journey, I started, you know, relaxing at home with my sister's help. So she would typically take care of the back, I would do the front, and we were good to go. But it depends. I mean, some people are comfortable doing their relaxer at home, whereas others feel, no, I just want someone professional to take care of it in case something, God forbid, goes wrong. So you just kind of have to, with experience and with time, you can gauge, but I would recommend first going to a professional.
Okay.
And I have been relaxing since I was 12, so I've always been comfortable with relaxing my own hair. And actually, I've only technically been relaxed at one period of time in my life, and that was when I was going into the salon. And I don't like having quote-unquote relaxed hair. I don't like having bone straight hair. I've always been texlaxing, and that's what I prefer. So I find the way for me to get the results that I want, I have to do it at home. But it really, like Val said, it's based on your own level of comfortable, how comfortable you are with doing it yourself. Because I know Jay doesn't self-relax at all.
Oh,
right,
no,
Jay?
no, I sure don't. Hey, but listen, tell the folks what texlax is so they can have an understanding in case they don't know.
Well, texlaxing is pretty much just intentionally under-processing your hair. You want to leave some texture in your hair. It's deemed to be a little bit stronger than having bone straight hair for me, and I think that's another reason why I can get away with a lot of things that I can get away with it versus someone being bone straight. I know. Well, let me rewind. When I was bone straight and when I was technically relaxed, my hair did break more, and it was not as strong as it is now. So by having that extra texture in my hair, I'm in between being relaxed fully and still being natural. So I can still play around and still do things that I would do if I was natural versus being straight relaxed. I hope that answers the question. Essentially, texlaxing is intentionally under processing your hair to leave some texture in your hair to make sure that it's strong.
Well, for me, I go to the salon and have my hair done. 'Tis true. However, I was a self-relaxer back in the day, and I recall, the agony of self-relaxing. However, I don't know how I have hair, because back in the day, I overlapped seriously. I left it on forever because I needed straight hair in my life. So, honestly, don't do that. Please, don't do that. But anyway, I do go to the salon. I am thinking about taking matters back into my own hands.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not there yet, but I am thinking about it.
Okay.
Jay, don't feel bad. I used to relax every 4 weeks when I was in junior high school. I only texlax, but hey, I was slapping that relaxer in every 4 weeks.
Me too.
I didn't know any better. Commit before we know better.
Yes.
You gotta be careful. Oh, goodness.
And the weird thing is, and this, hey, anyone listening, don't do this because I'm not promoting this. But back in the day, though, when I was doing everything wrong, I tell you, I felt like I had the most swing to my hair. But come on, now that I'm doing everything right, it just seems like, okay, whatever. But I guess ignorance is bliss. So back in the day, I thought I was looking fly, but I was probably looking toward from the floor.
The funny thing is, I had long hair back then, and just like you, I don't understand how I had hair.
Me either.
I just don't understand.
We're losing you, Tiki.
Yeah, I can't hear Tiki.
Because I was saying, I don't understand how I made it through with doing some of the crazy stuff that I did back in the day, but I definitely would not advise anyone to relax every 4 weeks. Definitely not.
No, at all.
That can definitely contribute to, very fine hair and breakage as well. So you got to be careful with overlapping, over processing. But with me, I didn't have a good experience really going to a salon. I always had my hairdresser relax my entire head from root to tip every 8 weeks. So I don't know how I had hair, like how you guys mentioned. I had no idea, but my hair stayed stagnant. It was always neck length or shoulder length. So, bringing back that power back into my own hands and doing my hair at home, it was just, it was a great experience for me. Also, I'm able to control, how long I leave the relaxer in. I don't sit there with it for 40 minutes or so like that. I just make sure, hey, sweetie. Go. Go. I'm on a call. Yeah, so I just always make sure that if I do my hair at home, like I have more control. So 25 minutes or so, I'm done. Like I don't leave it to over process. My son is here. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Oh my goodness. Give me 1 second.
Well, I'm actually, although I go to the salon, my stylist and I have come up with a proper time in which to relax my hair to leave my texture somewhat Tex-lax. I myself is moving toward Tex-lax, whereas I used to be relaxed with no texture left behind. But I am working toward moving to leaving more texture in my hair. So although you go to a salon, you still can ask your stylist to purposely underprocess your hair so you can be Tex-lax.
Okay.
But then you do have some that just won't do it, Jay, and you lucked out with your stylist. And we've heard a number of stylist horror stories being on the hair boards, but that was what I was saying about that time and period where I was actually fully relaxed because my stylist just she was not going to do it. And I told her what I wanted, and she just wouldn't do it. And that was when I first moved to Jacksonville, so I didn't know anyone, so I really didn't have a choice. But I think now I would definitely sit down and have a conversation. I think now you really have to have a consultation with a stylist before you have anything really done to your hair, especially with a chemical process, to make sure that the two of you are on the same page.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to add, Valerie, or we're good to go?
Oh, no, we're good to go. Sorry.
So my next question is, what are your tips for maximizing your weekly deep conditioning sessions?
Go ahead, Val. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I would say you need to have good, clean hair. If you have buildup on your hair, your deep conditioning session will not work, and you will then in turn be super frustrated. And second to that, I think using heat, because it opens up the cuticles and allows the product to penetrate nicely into the hair.
Okay.
I have to agree with Jay. I believe also adding oils to your deep conditioner to kind of enhance it, give it that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hearing an echo.
I was talking and then I heard you
Tiki
chiming in. I was saying, yeah, that was me talking.
It's okay.
No, I was saying I definitely agree with Jay because especially when you have low porosity hair, that is an absolute must as far as deep conditioning with heat. I either have to deep condition under a dryer or with a steamer, but I definitely have to have that extra heat in there to make sure that those products do penetrate my hair because of my porosity level. Is that what you saying?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was also saying that oils are a big I guess staple in my regimen as well. So I always add coconut oil, olive oil, and avocado oil to my deep conditioners to further that penetration and to actually increase moisture content in my hair. I also like to steam, as the other ladies mentioned. A heat source is extremely important. You want your cuticles to be lifted so that the deep conditioner can actually penetrate and help restore moisture and elasticity into your hair. So a heat source is important.
I really like adding honey too. oils and honey, they're really, really great. But what I have also found is that if you have a great conditioner, it should work on its own. You know, those oils and honey and what have you, that should be to just take it to the next level. So if you're having a conditioner that just doesn't work without those things, that may not be the conditioner for you.
I agree.
It should work. It should work well on its own. But with, like Jay said, I add raw honey to my conditioners, and my favorite oil to add to a deep conditioner is hemp oil. My hair absolutely loves it.
What's that again, Tiki?
No, I was saying I agree with Jay. You should have a conditioner that works well on its own. But I was saying also too, I do add raw honey and also hemp seed oil to my deep conditioners.
Okay. Okay, so we'll move to our next question. So what are your tips for keeping your hair when you do your moisturizing and sealing? I know that you have to consider the type of oil you're using, or your moisturizer. What is sort of like your rule of thumb in terms of how you moisturize and seal?
Well, I guess I'll start with that, and I'll let the ladies build on it. I'll start with my process, and then you all can talk about the other parts of your routine. But I don't do the lock method. I do LCO. So I start with the liquid, then I move to a cream, and then I seal with an oil. During the winter months, I seal with a cream versus, well, a heavy cream, more or less a butter, instead of a normal oil.
Okay.
And then I'll let the ladies work from there on. Anybody, Jay.
Okay, so I think that thinner products like lotions, they do not work well on my hair, so I tend to use creamier products. I know that those with finer hair kind of like lotions better because it doesn't weigh the hair down. So you just need to kind of figure out, you know, what your strands like. So my hair loves thicker, creamier products. And as far as the oil, I love avocado oil. I've tried a variety of oils, but for whatever reason, avocado just kind of seals the deal the best. So I don't use a whole lot of oil, maybe just like a drop. In the beginning, though, I was totally using way too much oil because I thought the more product, the better. That's not necessarily true. So you have to really find how much product works for your hair and the type of product that works for your hair. I also like to moisturize my hair in sections because just putting product in the palm of my hand and slapping it all over my hair was kind of leaving some of the areas deprived of product. So I actually go and moisturize in sections to make sure I get in all the inner layers and also the new growth.
How many sections?
With Jay as well. Definitely moisturizing in sections has been a huge improvement in my hair. I used to be one of those as well, just moisturizing all over and not really focusing on the key areas, which is my ends. So I made that change a few years ago, and I've noticed a huge difference. So it's definitely key to, you know, moisturize in sections. I tend to use a light spray moisturizer for my hair. That seems to work best. I love glycerin. I love humectants in my hair, so that helps me. So yeah, I'll typically section off in maybe 5 sections or so, focus on the ends, seal with an oil. I like to use olive oil. I find it's very moisturizing for me. It provides that lubrication for my ends, and it locks in moisture. So I'll just seal it, and then twist each section, move on to the next section. Very simple.
Hey, Val, so I'm like a fan of yours, right? And I want a hair chat with you. So how cool is that? But but listen, all these years I have wondered, how do you make S-curl work? And I, too, love the original, by the way. I seen your post on that. I love the original.
I know.
But how do you make S-curl work in such a cold climate?
It works for me. It doesn't, I know everyone says, yes, the humectants tend to not work in the cold climates, but it works for my hair. I don't know what it is. Cold, it could be warm, it could be hot, extreme weather. My hair is retaining moisture. So it's one of those tricky things. I don't know. I can't really explain it.
Yeah, and do you spray it on your hair like directly, or you apply it in your hand and then rub it on?
Yeah, I will apply it directly to my new growth. I'll spray it to my new growth, but I will apply it in my hand first and then apply it to each section in my hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jay, I'm with that one that I use glycerin all year round, so I guess it really depends on you. But going with the moisturizing in sections, I really promote doing everything in sections, not just moisturizing, but when you're washing your hair, doing in sections. It just makes life a whole lot easier. And it's deep condition. I do the relaxer method, but we're not even going to get into that. That was part of the conversation, but
No.
I really do
I think you
propose
can tell them really quick how that works. Yeah.
using everything so that whenever you're working with
I was saying, I think you can tell them how to utilize the relaxer method with your deep conditioner in like 10, 15 seconds. Go for it.
No, I just really, like I said, I break everything down into sections, and then I do subsections within those sections. So I have the 4 sections in my hair, and then I break those 4 sections down into 2 sections, and then I just simply start with my roots and then moisturize and just kind of section it off just to make sure that everything is evenly coated. Especially with my new growth being this far along in my journey, I have to make sure that that stays moisturized, and that proves to be the best method for me. It's just going in and just doing it the same way you would with the relaxer, with starting with your roots, and then I work out to my ends. But it's just going in and it's just making the parts and moisturizing in between the parts.
Okay.
You know, with regards to using sections with shampooing, because my hair like repels water while shampooing for whatever reason, it just beads straight up off my hair. So I have to let the water really soak in my hair really, really well. But back when I was not shampooing in sections, I would get out the shower and realize like some of the inner parts of my hair were not even clean, or they were just barely damp. So utilizing sections really help to get down into those areas that may not get the love otherwise.
I completely agree. You definitely have to do it in sections. I deep condition in sections. Yeah, I deep condition in sections, and I moisturize in sections, and I would not change that. That's been a key tip for me in my hair journey as well. Sections all the way.
Okay. So how do you guys feel about double processing in terms of you know, adding color to your hair when your hair is already kind of relaxed?
Yeah, I'm not gonna like my answer.
Yeah, that's
guilty. I'm absolutely guilty. I do color my hair, but I really have to make sure that I stay up on my deep conditioning and I stay up on my moisturizing. I have to do all of those things to keep my hair in the best shape possible. I think you can double process, but it really depends on your hair. But if you have to know your hair, you have to take care of your hair in order to make that successful. If you double process and you don't want to take care of your hair, you're gonna have some breakage. You're gonna have some issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
I double processed twice back in the day, in my younger years, when I was, I don't know, not on a hair journey anyway. And each time it looked as though someone took some scissors or a razor and just totally cut my hair, because it broke. But now I have a friend, oh honey, her hair is laid and dyed, and it looks fantastic. She never has breakage, and I envy that, because she is rocking some beautiful color, and her hair can take it. So it just depends, I guess.
Yeah, you really have to take care of it, because I have been platinum, bleached blonde, and relaxed with no breakage. You have to take care of your hair.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never colored my hair. I just strictly relax.
This is the longest.
I'm too nervous to do that. But you can definitely have your cake and eat it too. You can be relaxed and have color. It's just, as the ladies mentioned, you just got to know how to take care of it. Make sure you're up on your deep conditioners, your protein. Color treated hair definitely needs protein, and especially if you're relaxed. And just make sure your hair is moisturized.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what is your rule of thumb in terms of using and applying heat on your hair?
I'm not afraid of heat, honestly. I just don't use it because I don't have a need for it. I can manage my hair without it. But now I will use heat if need be, but I don't use it every day of the week or every week of the month. So I just think in moderation it's okay. But you just really have to know how many passes to do, at what temperature. Make sure you're using a heat protectant. Rule of thumb suggests that you should avoid heat. I think heat with good judgment is okay.
Okay.
I'm not typically one to use heat. Last time I used a flat iron in my hair was about maybe 7, 8 months ago. As Jay mentioned, I can go months without heat. My typical day-to-day styling doesn't require heat. I just bun my hair or air dry, that kind of thing. If anything, I do use a blow dryer to do tension method, or just blow dry and cool air. But other than that, I can go months without heat. I don't really need it, but I'm not scared of it, as Jay mentioned, because I now know how to properly take care of it. A heat protectant is crucial, and also making sure you're applying heat on clean hair, conditioned hair as well.
Okay.
Well, I kind of step back and let the ladies answer that question first, because we know that was one of my tips as far as you can be relaxed and still use heat. And I say no more than twice a month. My method for using heat is I use it twice a month, but on the weeks in between using heat, I don't use it back to back. I alternate between a heat and a heat-free style. And when I do use heat, yes, I definitely make sure that it's right after I freshly washed my hair. It has been properly deep conditioned. And I also, those are the times that I will use protein, is if I know that I'm preparing to flat iron my hair or anything like that. And also to just making sure I know what temperature works for my hair. So I have to flat iron on that, not using too many passes of heat when I do flat iron. And I use the comb and chase method. That way I can get the most bang for my buck, and I can use the least amount of heat and get my hair to the desired straightness that I like. But I also, too, in my tip, I stated that you really have to make sure you do have that balance with the moisture and the protein, and just making sure you have that heat protectant so that you don't experience any type of damage from doing that. But you can successfully use heat on a quote-unquote regular basis.
I actually think I get more breakage and more damage with roller setting my hair than using heat, because those clips and those, all of that, just, trying to get the hair fully detangled in order to set the hair, it's a lot of manipulation to me. So I actually believe if I were going to go for heat with a flat iron or roller set, long story short, I just believe roller setting does far more damage, although the heat source is healthier, but the road to get there doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, that fine-tooth comb will kill you every time.
So what is one popular misconception that you think people have about relaxed hair?
That is unhealthy?
Yeah. That relaxed hair cannot grow long lengths. I say it absolutely can. I'm at my hip with relaxed hair, so yes, relaxed hair can grow long lengths.
Okay.
Now, it looks a little short right now, but it's at my hip, I promise.
What about you, Valerie?
A popular misconception about relaxed hair, I would say, yeah, definitely that it can't grow long, that it is damaged. Goodness, the list goes on. Geez. I would say definitely that it can't grow, because I've seen a lot of relaxed ladies with long hair, thick hair, and they're maintaining it. So that is a big misconception.
Okay. And I know that all of you have been on this hair journey for many years, and you've documented it well through your blogs as well. So what is your #1 rule of all time in terms of caring for your relaxed hair?
Keep it moist. That's for me. I need moisture every day. I need to keep my hair moist. So moisturizing and sealing is extremely important. If I skimp on that, I instantly notice a difference. That's how well I know my hair. So moisturizing and sealing daily, key.
Okay.
For me, deep conditioning with heat is an absolute must. I can get away with not shampooing on a regular basis or not moisturizing, but I have to absolutely make sure that I deep condition my hair.
I think they took my answers.
Y'all took my answers the whole time. So.
I think I'm going to go with do not over manipulate the hair. Don't over manipulate dry hair, especially. So you can lead to split ends, and so just keep the manipulation to a reasonable amount. You don't have to comb your hair morning, noon, and night. You try to kind of use your hands and finger detangle and kind of get your hair put up in styles with your hands as much as possible.
Okay.
Oh, and I like seamless combs too. I mean, you know, it's just my preference. Not everyone uses seamless comb, but I do enjoy seamless combs. I just like the way they glide through the hair better. I don't know that they help with not giving me split ends, but hey, I do like how it glides through the hair much better than seamed combs.
Okay. So we're approaching the end.
I'm leaning over because I was looking for my baby.
Oh, it's okay.
I was looking for my seamless comb because it should be right here. I have a whole set of seamless combs that I bought from a particular website that I have in different sizes, and that definitely has helped. So I have to agree with Jay on that. And as far as the fingers, yes, ma'am, I only use a comb when I on wash day. That's it.
I agree.
Oh, okay.
I've learned, like, my fingers are my combs. So this style, everything I do is typically with my hands. If I need a comb, it's very rare. And as Tiki said, wash days is typically when I, go through my entire head, comb from root to tip, and remove shed hair. But in the week, it's strictly my hands. And with time, you'll catch on. At first, it may be a little difficult to detangle and comb your hair with your hands, but it's definitely decreased on the manipulation and unnecessary breakage, because who wants breakage?
Yeah.
Right?
True, that's true. And no brushes?
No.
None at all?
I use a board brush just to smooth in, like, my edges or so,
Right.
but not throughout the entire hair. No, absolutely not.
If I use a brush, it's either a toothbrush that is only for my hair, not my teeth and my hair, and I will use a baby brush, but it's just for these little baby edges. It's not for the all over.
Okay. So we're approaching the end of our session. Is there any final words that each one of you guys want to say before we end?
Don't ball up all your hair while you're in the shower shampooing your hair. That's only for commercials and only for TV. Don't do it.
Right.
Oh, actually, I want to mention, I did get a question on my blog about typically when I know, I'm so sorry, we're closing, but it was typically how far along in your hair journey do you see growth, or do you see any improvement in length? And I don't know, the other ladies can chime in as well, but when I started my hair journey, I noticed, like, maybe 3 months in, that my hair started to get thicker, more fuller, just a lot of volume. So I guess it varies depending on the person, but within the first 3 months, I noticed thickness. 6 months or so, I started to notice length retention, and that's when I reached from shoulder length to armpit length. So it varies, but typically 3 to 6 months, you'll start to see a difference.
Okay.
I
think that most people do see thickness before they do see growth. When I started my hair journey, I started with a clean slate, and then my hair is naturally thick, so I was able to, and I documented my journey like month to month, so I saw my growth each month. But I do think, I agree with Val, you do normally see the thickness come in, and that's with the overall health improvement, and then you'll see it start to grow and get longer. And now for an actual specific period, I can't say, because like I said, I started everything with a clean slate, so I noticed my hair growing month by month.
Okay. Okay, ladies. Well, thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of our very first KARIF Expert Series. I'm very happy you guys came on in and gave us your advice. It definitely helped me out because I am a relaxed lady. So for all of you guys out there that are watching us, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be having more of these in the near future. For more tips about caring for your hair, or if you liked anybody's tips that was shared here today, you can just head on over to their blogs. Each one of them, we have posted a link to their blogs within our info section underneath this video. So check them out whenever you get a chance. And check us out as well. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Head on over to KARIFTv.com to sign up and subscribe. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Elsa, for having us.
Everybody out there has a wonderful Sunday afternoon and gets ready for Monday.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.